Hey guys, what's up? This is Shashwat over here from Design Teenage. Hope you all are doing well. And once again, welcome back over here at Design Teenage. So as promised to you guys today in the morning session, and as promised that we will be having now back-to-back live sessions for you all. We are here with all of you for this particular session again, wherein we are supposed to discuss your this year NATA 2023 first attempt paper. Now, don't go or leave this particular session once I tell you that we are supposed to discuss the first attempt paper. Simple reason is because, okay, some of you might think that, sir, what again to discuss about that? Now, see, in the morning session, what we have discussed was the 2022 paper. Now we are going to discuss the 2023 paper. And believe me or not, discussion of these paper, if we discuss 5 times also, they will help you out in some or the other way. You will get something or the other to learn from that paper, something or the other, to analyze from that. So right now, what we are actually going to do is to find out the paper pattern difference in comparison with 2022. So actually, what are the things that we should go ahead for? Mostly the paper pattern of 2023 and 2022 are almost similar, but still we are going to look in detail, analyze each and everything, proceed ahead, see the marks division, and how and what will be the best method to score the to score a good marks or to score one of the best marks in the NATA 2023 entrance exam. So let's start with it. In the meantime, before starting the session, I must inform you all, make sure if you are getting some help from these stations, do subscribe our channel. Stay tuned with us. Stay tuned with Design Teenage for the latest updates of the latest videos or so. Make sure to share this video with all your friends so they can join here in the live session, learn something new, get something important for their exam preparation. And moreover, download the Design Teenage app from Google Play Store, link in description. And if you need any help, without any hesitation, connect us. Contact number is there in description. That's all. So let's start with the session. Just wait for 1 or 2 minutes and we will be here with the session. We will start with the session in detail. Just wait for our students over here in session to join and we will start.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Shakti. We will start the session now. Just wait for 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys, I guess we are good to go with the session now. So let's start with our today's evening session, wherein we are going to discuss each and every detail about the paper pattern of 2023 and basic differences. Whatever we have seen till now, what are the basic differences also that we can spot out with 2022 comparison. So there are not many, but we will go in detail and try to understand each of those aspects separately. So I will share my screen and we will be good to go. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Great. So let's start the session now. Just hold on a second. Fine. So over here, now we are trying to go through top to bottom again for the 2021 paper, 2023 paper. So over here, we have the serial number of questions, wherein in detail, we will go one by one. So again, see, basically right now, what I can see as a whole, just before starting or talking about anything, our paper pattern for right here, paper pattern for 2023. So initially, what we are able to see before we talk about anything else is that it starts with maths again. So write here down maths. Oh, there is no requirement of writing down, just you guys understand the thing. Because you are, anyways, you cannot see this. This is just for understanding purpose. I'm writing it to understand what are the changes also. So we see here, let's start with the maths question. Let's see what is the complexity level of the questions. Very first question, A, B, and C can do a piece of work in 20, 30, and 60 days respectively. How many days can A do the work if he is assisted by B and C on every third day? What is the answer to this question? You need to tell me how, quick, real quick, because answer is obviously given over here. So tell me how.
Sir, 20 days and 30 days and 60 days, for how many days, sir?
They're asking individually these three students, these three people can do a single piece of work in 20, 30, and 60. If like, A is assisted by B and C on every third,
Sir,
so how they can do it? Yeah.
this Shakti has messaged on the group that no, nothing.
Okay, fine.
No,
Fine.
I mean,
We will talk about anything else apart from the session afterwards. The session is also being live streamed. So we need to keep in mind there are other students too who are watching live on this live this session. So we cannot discuss anything apart from this session right now. Okay. So whatever is
no,
there,
sir.
we can
I said that I mean writing, that's it, sir.
Okay, please make sure you have a clear background before you unmute yourself. Yeah, so how are we supposed to proceed with this? They are telling A can do a piece of work in 20 days. So for example, let's think in this way that the work that is being done, okay, is X. So per day, the total amount of work that is supposed to be done is X. If it is X, then per day, A does X by 20, B does X by 30, and C does X by 60. Now they are telling that if A is assisted by a B and C on every third day, so you'll be it will be something like that. The amount of work that A does is X by 20 per day. So on the third day, he or she is assisted via B and C on every third day that they are talking about. So let's assume if he is assisted on the every third day, so some of the work gets reduced. Now over here at this very point, we need to understand that. So for example, the options which we have over here is 12, 16, 18, and 15. Okay. Now, if he is assisted via B and C, so X by 30 and X by 60, if we add them both, then what is the answer or the remaining thing value that we are getting? Yes? Quickly tell me. So you guys have done this question, right? Or no, you haven't solved it. Sneha, I guess you have given the first attempt, right?
Yes.
How did you solve this question? How did you solve this question? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I don't know. I was a bit confused in math part, so
Okay. Fine, no issue. So let's see, if we can come up with this question and let's try to solve it out. So the amount of work that is done by B and C, on one single day, if they do a work together, that is will be something like, X by 30 plus X by 60. And the outcome which we get is 3x by 60. Okay. Now, if it is 3x by 60, then it is x by 20. See, x by 30 plus x by 60 I am doing over here. I know it's kind of inverted. So it's 3x by 60 is the outcome. Hence, it is x by 20 is the amount of work. So what is happening now? Then on every third day, and the work, okay, wait, I must tell over here. So the original work that the person A does is x by 20. We already know this. And it requires him 20 days to complete the work. Now, on every third day, he is getting that assistance of an extra day, right? So, for example, first, second, then on the third day, he is completing the work of 4 days. So, in this way, if we move or proceed further, then how it will go? So, on every third day, he is giving 1 extra day. So, for example, when it is 3, it became 4. Now, for example, when it is supposed to become 6, it is becoming 8. So when it is supposed to become so the number of sets which you get, the number of extra days will be added. So for example, let's consider it like this. 3 days ka you have got 5 sets. Okay, 3 days ka 4 sets. Okay, so 3 fours are 12. So 3 fours are 12 is what you get. And now on these 12 days, when you have 4 sets, so you will be added 4 extra days. So that is 16 days. Now, if it is 16 days, we need to see that how many days, if they are assisted, how many days he or she needs to complete. Okay, so our work over here, we need to understand is as a whole X. So whatever we add on, the final outcome should be X, right? So if we do like, this X by 20 thing, we are getting it extra on the third day and X by 20. So our question right now is something like this, that how many X by 20 should we like, what to make the, like, like how many days we need to complete the a set of work. For every day now we can do X by 20, like, is the amount of work that we can do. Total work is X. So every day is what we can do, like, they are talking about it. So when we tell that X by 20 is every day what we can do, now we need to understand over here that if every day we can do that, and every third day we are assisted some of the other way. So over here, what's happening is that for the very first 3 sets, you will be getting an extra day. Now on the 4th set, understand this, on the 4th set, so first 3 sets you got it. Okay, an extra day. So 3 3s are 9, you get 3 extra days over there. So 9 plus 3 is 12. Now when it's going to the next set, before completion of that, your work is getting over. So within the next 2 sets, your work is getting over. Hence the answer will be 15 days. And the third day is not even required over there. I hope I am clear. Any doubts? Fine. So let's proceed further. Now see, we are starting with the maths question, or like, we are having here the maths questions also that is going ahead. Now, we need to see that how many maths question or so, like, are coming up, and how many questions are there that we need to solve in this, like the amount of time that we have, or like, the in the whole paper, how many maths question are there now for us to be solved. So question number, like, 1, 2, 3, followed by 4, then question number 5, question number 6, question number 7, question number 8, question number 9. All these are maths questions, and see, everything is from a very simple. A tank is 25 meter long, 12 meter wide, 6 meter deep. What is the cost of plastering its walls and bottom? If the cost per square meter is like, 75 square meter. Okay, 75 square meter. Now over here we have tank of like, this 25 meter long, 12 meter wide, and 6 meter deep. So we need to, like, identify the inner surface area of that, or the surface area of that particular tank, and divided by what is the requirement of, like, what is the payment required per square meter. We will get the answer. Okay, over here what's happening is, see, over like, we need to understand this as well. So in NATA you will get some questions like this, wherein you are supposed to enter the data. A blank space will be given, and you will be writing down the answer. There will be no options available for you. This is also a type of question that you might get in maths or in something else as well. The correct for maths and all, where there is a numerical, it's pretty clear that you are supposed to write like, the right answer. But for example, where there is a word that you will have to use, make sure there are correct use of a particular word is being there, because the answers are being judged on basis of a keyword, if there is something like that. The average distance between Earth and Sun is like, okay, see, again, the same pattern is being followed. Are you guys following? The same pattern is being followed till question number 10. First 10 questions, 1 marks of maths, followed by we have the questions of physics. So we will see how many questions are there. So these are all basic, like, theoretical questions. Okay, in between we have got numerical as well. Okay, now this is what a car is traveling at a speed of 30 brought to a halt in 8 meters by applying brakes. If the same car traveling at 60, how many meters can it brought to halt? So this is again a calculative one only, but something easier. Okay, there is nothing like very hard that you. So now, like, we are seeing over here that another set or so. Okay, this is a child has to choose from the following verses A, B, C, D. If he has to extend the faster revolution. So this is also again something from, like, your this thing, like in terms of physics itself. So can you quickly tell me which is the correct answer over here? Among all these horses, which is the one that the child should choose to experience the fastest revolution? And how are you coming to that conclusion? Yes? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so which horse should he or she choose, and why is so?
The outermost one.
Okay, the outermost one. So outer one, like, they have marked here the answer as C. Now see, we need to understand one fact over here, that D is the one located in the center or central zone or the inner part. A is also the same. So A and D are the very first two options which will be eliminated, process of elimination. Now over here, we can see that B, out of B and C, we need to identify one. Okay. So out of B and C, when we need to identify one, see, if you look, or like, if you have a closer look to both these, what is the difference between the option B and C? We are talking about the experience over here. Okay. So what is the, difference between B and C? Yes. What is the basic difference in terms of the view? What is the basic difference between B and C that you can see over here? Any idea?
More upwards
Yeah, the
in
ball
terms.
is located in a bit upper position. Hence, the feeling or the sense that you get at that certain point will be like, for example, if you sit on something which is very stable on the flat board which on the bottom, the kind of sense or feel that you will get over there, the one that is located at a bit upper zone, will give you a more better sense of or a feel of revolution, faster revolution. You feel like you're moving in a faster way. So hence, DC is the correct answer. Now coming to why not the other two in the inner part, because they are located close to the center. So for example, if you have seen racing tracks. So after the very first lap, you are like, you go for a toss and you are given different laps on basis of lucky draw or something like that. Now, like that is how usually the sports and all happen. How you are supposed to give a track, because the more closer to the center you are, the lesser is the size of the track. The more far you are is like, more the track. Now over here, I must mention one thing. So once you are given all these tracks on a basis of this particular purpose, but during any sort of sport, the way, like why all the players, if you just go and see any sort of Olympics or any sports, you will see they are never located on the same line when they are starting the race. One is located over here closer to the track, next one is like, more far, next one is far. So that is the calculation that has been done, and the distance has been created. So the amount of extra distance that every person is supposed to cover in their own lap, they are taking a lead in that. Okay. So that is one thing. Now coming to the fact that what will happen after one first lap when they're allowed to change tracks, then everyone tends to move towards the closer one. The simple reason is because you will have to move like, lesser amount of or you will have the amount of circle that you will have to make, or the distance you will have to travel. The more closer you are to the center, the lesser it is. Hence, similar kind of thing is happening over here, and the experience of faster evolution, the speed also will be completely lesser, right? Now, okay, all these are related to physics till question number 17. We have some few questions related to physics. After that, we are having things related to maths again. So this is kind of mix. Now we are having a bit more questions, I feel. Okay, over here it's maths again. So 21 till question number 21, followed by 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, let's see. See 25. So I told in the very early day, time that someone asked, might be from you guys or some other student, that sir, how many students will be there? I guess I told on live also beforehand that how many student questions will be coming up from your PCM. I told chemistry questions never to show up. Out of physics and maths, there is numerical questions, numerical questions hardly comes from physics. And both now for both maths and physics, the syllabus will be 9th, 10th, and 11th standard ka basics. So over here we have 25 questions, 1 marks each. So last year we have seen somewhere around 17 to 20 marks. This year we are seeing 25. Now this is for one attempt. It might be in the upcoming 2 attempts, it will be somewhere 25 marks only. So nothing to worry about. Easy questions can be solved, and there is nothing like, that okay, over here I am going to face real difficulty or something like that. Now after that we are going what again, the grammar part. So we have a part, as I mentioned, of grammar. See the it goes with the similar kind of things. Okay, now all this synonym antonym is something that you need to go through, have a bit of knowledge. These things are few like, topics which you have already gone through till now, and there is no one who has not done grammar. There is no one who has not done maths and physics of these basic things. You just need to revise, go through few of your own books or your own topics which you have done before and in your own way back at your home. So, like any of the courses anyone is doing or any preparation you are doing anywhere, so this is for all students I am telling, like, whatever you are doing, other than that, make sure you take some time for yourself to practice or revise these very simple things which you have done in your childhood or some like few years back. Okay, or even now also, while you are passing your exam, I guess there is no one who has not done grammar. Okay, so we have a few questions from your this grammar, followed by we come to that passage type questions. So starts from 31. We have one. Okay. So how have they given the passage type questions this year? Let's see. So they have given a text over here, the passage. After reading the text, answer 4 questions based on the text by choosing the appropriate option. Okay. Okay. So they have mentioned the text in every question. Acha. That is one thing. Question number 31, 32, 33, 34. So first set, one set of this textual questions. Then followed by again, we are having our second set. So we got total 8 questions. Now third set we are moving towards. Third set. We are moving ahead with the third set of questions wherein we get again 4 questions. So 12. Fourth set. See, this is the easiest part where you can score marks. Just see and write the answer. We are moving with the fourth set. Fourth set complete. So 16. And now our fifth set. Fifth set. Fifth set is also complete. So we are getting total of 5 sets. That means 20 questions. Easy piece of cake, like 20 marks is a piece of cake over here, which you just be a bit careful. Give if you need 2 more seconds, give to each of these questions, but answer correctly. There is no point or no scope wherein you are supposed to make a mistake for these 20 marks. 70 marks is your cutoff. Now, if you just think about the cutoff, see how easy it becomes to clear. You can just get 20 marks from here without remembering anything, without discussing any topic, without understanding anything. You can clear 20 marks from here just by seeing and writing down the answer. Now over here comes some general knowledge questions. What is the purpose of a cow catcher and all? So the restrict entries of cows, restrict entries of animals, restrict acts as a drain, like water drain, aesthetic purpose only. So over here, now we need to understand what is option C. The answer is option C, R and S. So R and S means restrict of animals and act as a drain system. See, over here, this is they have mentioned it as a cow catcher. Now, when cow catcher, don't go by the literal meaning that restrict entries of cows only. What can you feel that if there is made something like this, why they are prevent? You don't know anything, but why they want to prevent cow to save some sort of crops or anything which is there at that certain zone. So then they have mostly designed it in such a way that it will prevent any other animals. That is one thing. And visually, what you can see that the ports or the holes that have been created, that acts as a drainage system also. It helps in the draining of the water also, which is present at that certain zone or location. Hence, R and S can be. Now, restrict entries of cows only cannot be. Aesthetic purpose only cannot be an answer. So, P and T, wherever, whichever option there is P and T, you need to cut it off. So, option A is wrong answer, option D is wrong answer. Now, we can see out of B and C, something is right. In B, we can see they are talked about Q and S. Both Q and S they are talking, but we don't have anything as Q. So B is obviously a wrong option that they have given, and C is the correct answer. Okay, now see, these are the building materials also that we definitely need to have a proper understanding of, that there are several building materials I have mentioned earlier that we need to know also. So what building material does the following image illustrate? What do you think it can be? Is it lightweight concrete? Is it wood plastic composite? Is it ferrocement? Is it wood concrete composite?
Wood concrete composite.
How did you determine?
The lower surface, it has the wooden texture, and the upper one, it's concrete only.
Yeah, so it's a composite structure of two materials, and that is visually seen by you. You can visually see and analyze. No requirement of any knowledge, special knowledge, or no requirement of any kind of special information, particularly for this. Okay. Similar kind of things will go. The truss shown in the given image below is what? Is a queen post truss, is a bowing truss, is a king post truss, is a Warren truss. Now see, these are things that you will definitely understand in college. So this particular, what is a truss? This thing, this triangular section with the kind of orientation of these blocks, how they have been arranged. This is a queen post truss. If it was a king post truss, then we could have seen that this zone, I will just show you what the basic change which we usually see is. Wait, I will take a thicker line and let me take black over here. There would have been something like, wait, take a straight line. Now here. For a king post truss, mostly there would have been something like this also. This sort of joining would have been there. Okay, these two things at least should have been there. And sometimes we see a Y-like structure on the top. This is the basic representation of a king post truss. This is what we usually see. Okay, now definitely there are several demarcations, bifurcations as well. We do need to understand that as well. So these are some of the things. Now,
option B and option C, sir.
Yeah, please tell.
Option B and option C, sir.
What option B and option C?
What is the style of that?
I'm telling this is a queen post truss. Answer is that. How
Yes, sir.
What is the king post truss? I have just shown you now.
And then other two, sir.
Other two we need to discuss with the picture. It is not possible for me to draw on this on show. Okay. Fine. Now let's move ahead. See, these are again the basic questions from your questions from your basic knowledge of architecture, like architectural GK as a whole, what we can tell. Now under that, materials used in several things can be considered. So which country topped in the 2022 EPA? This is again from a general knowledge question. So these sort of questions are what will come. Okay. And you need to figure out few things, like for example, to which indigenous tribes does the traditional costume belong? Okay. Now, for example, over here, suddenly this has been given today. Tomorrow, some other tribe question. So we cannot always segregate. These are questions related to general knowledge. And when we talk about general knowledge, no one in the world, if I give something and that has come, that is something great. But if it doesn't matches, there is no one who can come up and tell and show you that, okay, see, this is tribe, this kind of question has come. So let's for the next exam, go and practice questions which are similar to 5 other tribes. It will not help because we don't know it will come or not, and how much a student will remember. We cannot just rely on our brain power and just be it okay, we will remember and solve the questions. Now what we have is, when was the National Flood Commission formed in India? So this is a very general knowledge, 1976. I told you guys earlier that dates are not that much to be remembered, but some point dates come. And again, I will tell, mark out, don't leave the question, mark out anything that if you know the answer, well and good. If you don't know, mark out what you know, what you feel can be the answer. And most importantly, these things cannot be taught. And this is what these sort of questions, or these certain questions, for example, that this tribe won, this one, these are the things which increases the complexity level of the question. Now, why in a particular year you see that this year's average marks has went high, this year's average marks is going a bit low? These are the very simple reasons why these things happen. Just because these kind of questions are being introduced, which on an average maximum students cannot really go for, because these are not the knowledge that you should really have to join an architectural college, first of all. Secondly, no one can predefine and prepare you for a course wherein they will discuss all these things. Hence, your average marks falls. But no need to worry for any students watching this live session now, or for you guys, because if the average marks falls, whatever you get the ratio will remain the same. So if, for example, last year, if the highest score was 180, 190, and on an average people got 150, 160, then if you get somewhere within that, you are well and good. Now, if this year it's 140, and you are getting somewhere around 125, 130. So then that is the same ratio of marks remains the same. So you are in the same, again, good sector of zone wherein you can get any desired college, or you can go for a well and good college. Okay. Okay. Now, for example, which of the following gases is not known as a greenhouse gas? We have the options over here as methane, nitrous oxide, hydrogen, carbon dioxide. Yes. See, methane, we talk about that, like, this animal catering, or this number of animals being increased. We are using different sorts of their excretion or so release methane. It's like, causing damage to our ozone layer. And so methane is definitely. Now we know carbon dioxide emission we also talk about. So it is also one of the positive answers for greenhouse gases. Nitrous oxide and hydrogen we are talking about. Now, hydrogen is never a greenhouse gas. Otherwise, we couldn't have talked today about, I guess most of you have heard about, like, hydrogen fuel or these kind of things where there is only water is the external outcome that you get. So when we are talking about this hydrogen thing or so, we out of nitrous oxide and hydrogen, we feel hydrogen is something which is always present in our environment, or like, is very much, we have never heard that hydrogen is some, like, the reason for which some damage is being done. So we will just take it under, like, under consideration, and hydrogen can be the possible answer. So this is how we need to go ahead and mark out our answers where you don't know something. Okay. Now over here we have which of the following comes next in the sequence. So over here we have an pattern. So we have done in our yesterday morning session which we were doing, wherein we have discussed, like, our pattern based questions. So we have, like, talked about that what are the kind of different questions that might come up, and we have talked about that how to solve them. So what is the correct answer, do you think? See, over there something is written, but you need to give me an explanation that how do you think that that is the correct answer. Quickly guys, anyone? Yes, how do you think that, like, like, for example, first of all, tell me which is the correct answer and how do you come to that conclusion that, okay, this is the correct answer.
So like after one image, after the first image, the house remains at the same position and the ball shifts. So in the third picture, the ball shifts and the house remains at the same position. Like, so like the last image, the house will be at the same place and the ball will move.
Okay, see, so it is one image, this house along with the rectangular piece of block is shifting, another image the circle is shifting. That is what you are trying to tell, right?
Yes.
Fine, let's see, like, if that is working out or so. Just give me a second. So over here, the set of questions that we have, we need to understand first over here how we are proceeding further and what we are basically doing, or like, how the answer is coming up. So what you have told is that for this initial picture, first see, that is this house is always changing the vertex, okay, and it is moving in another direction. So over here, the pattern, if we just try to check the pattern or how it has been followed. See, option 2 and 3 is having a relation. Option 1 and 4 is having a relation, right? So in that way, if I have to compare, so let's see. Right now, what we need to identify or understand over here is, see, this option, like, and how these two options are correlated with each other. The orientation or the position of this particular shape is being fixed, and the ball is shifting. Ball was in the bottom, it is shifting to this place. So ball is moving in a clockwise direction. It was first over here, it moved over here, it moved to the left side. Okay, in the third image, fourth image, it is over here, fifth image, again it is over here. So sixth image, our first clue is that ball will be in the ground position. So we need to see where ball is in the ground position. After that, anything else. So process of elimination, B and D are eliminated. Out of A and C, we see that ball is in the ground level position, right? So our options answers can be from A and C. Now we need to compare with this particular structure or segment which we have present over here. So over here now we need to understand or identify that whether it will be this one or whether it will be this particular thing which we see in C. So for this particular segment, now we need to identify and understand when this particular thing started. We see two in the second one, two particular objects. So see, this is a segment. This is again a segment starting from here. This is one set of, this is unique. Then two segments wherein this particular object is staying in static position, right? Now again, this is unique. So over here, this one and the next one will be in static position. Are you getting my point? So then ball is only moving in the last image. Ball moves here. Now in A, this particular object is differing in comparison with the last very image. Hence C is the correct answer. Is it clear? Any doubts do you have? Do you think that there is something which under which you feel that no, it is not very clear, I didn't understand? Please tell now. Guys watching this session live on YouTube, please tell if you have a doubt in the comment section or the live chat. Sneha, Karthik, Shakti, did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
No issue. Let's move ahead now. So over here, now we have what replaces the question mark. Again, a pattern based question. Okay. So we need to understand how, and first of all, the very easiest way to solve these questions is we need to identify where and what is happening. So we need to identify a certain clue of how to solve. So over here, see the problem which any general student will face initially before solving this is that you will not be able to identify what happens to this left side section. You will feel like that there are no lines. So let's draw the lines first to identify that, okay, there is a segment, there is a proper segregation of the elements also. This is one line. And there is another line over, there is, we'll take this a little bit from the below section. Yeah, this is one line. There is another line over here. And in the same way, there is one line which is running straight. Okay. These are the things that we get to see. Now over here, please tell me which is the right answer and how it is the right answer.
D1.
D. So why D?
Because it's a triangle similar to the shape which is there in the first section.
Tell me how I told you guys to proceed. Process of elimination. Why not the other options? Why D? We will not go via identifying what is the reason behind that option to get B the answer. First, we will identify why other can't be the answer. Once we identify that, it becomes easier. Then we can automatically eliminate options and our possibility of getting the right answer becomes more easier. Now, once we eliminate things, it becomes easier for us in a way that, okay, now we have only one option or two options. When we have one option left, it is pretty much clear. But when we have two options, the number of choices gets reduced. So it becomes more easier for us to identify. So just go ahead with the similar kind of explanation.
Option A, if we take that and if we fit that in that question mark, it will merge with that black color and it will not give us the shape which is there in the first section.
Right.
The second one, it's like it is similar to the shape which is there in the first option, but if we fix that in that place, it is like an inverted, it's like the same image which is there down. So it would like not give us the shape which is there in the first section. If we take the third option, it will create a diagonal which is half white and half black in color. That also does not give the shape which is there in the first section. And then only option D is left.
Sir,
Yeah, Shakti, you have a different explanation. Please go ahead.
if we remove second row, sir,
If you check the second row.
if we remove second row,
Achha, if we remove the second row, okay, what happens?
It is symmetric, sir. No. Symmetric, sir.
It is symmetric, or you want to tell that it is the alternate of what we see over here. Like the black has become white and the white has become black.
Uh,
The color has been altered. If we remove the second row, the pattern is first row and third row are equal in terms of alteration of colors.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, that was the easiest explanation to this question. I was waiting for your explanation. If it's just, I hope it's very clear to you now. See the black portion and compare it with the white portion. Just the color has been altered. Can you see it? So that's the easiest way to identify the answer. That option D, over here, what you see as option, wait, just give me a second. Yeah, option D is the correct answer. Which will be in accordance with this one. Just the color has been altered.
Okay, sir.
Now we move ahead with our next set of questions. Wait. Just give me a second. Let me remove this drawing on screen. Yeah. Right. So now let's move ahead with our next set of questions and see these are pretty similar questions wherein we are again asked to identify the patterns or the sequence. So over here now this year we see that the amount of these sort of questions which has been asked wherein this pattern based or the analytical reasoning questions in terms of figure based is being a bit more. Okay. Now might be in your upcoming attempt there is a question wherein you are asked about the cube and dice or a mirror image, water image, or something as in the counting of figures. So make sure you're able to do it. The basics have been explained. We will practice in the mock papers which are coming up in our live exam portal, which is having the exact same user interface for you guys. So how you have written the NATA exam or what kind of whole page setting that you get in NATA exam. Your mark for review, then answers which you have solved is in a one color, which you have not solved is in one color. Everything will be exactly the same. You just need to sit for the paper from your home in a comfortable zone where there is no noise, no background, no one is entering your room and give the exam. Fine. So we are seeing these are the things which are there. These are all reasoning questions. Okay, this is not a maths question. We will consider these things under reasoning. So they're telling this is, I guess, 5 people were eating apples. Arun finished before Banu. But behind Chetan. Dinesh finished before Ellen, but behind Banu. Okay, see. Now we will arrange in these sort of questions. So it's telling first what we have. Arun finished before Banu. So we will write B over here. And Arun was finished before Banu. So let's assume we are arranging in ascending order. Ascending order of time. So first who finished is then Arun. Arun has finished before Banu. So first Arun, then Banu. Now if we get something in between, we will push them in. So A and B. But Arun has finished before Banu, but behind Chetan. So then Chetan is in the top, right? Arun has finished before Banu, but after Chetan, behind Chetan. So behind Chetan, then Chetan is the one at the top. After that, Arun, after that, Banu. Dinesh has finished before Ellen, but behind Banu. So Dinesh has finished before Ellen, but behind Banu. So he is over here. Now has finished before Ellen. What was the finishing? So if he has finished before Ellen, but behind Banu, so then definitely Ellen cannot be located before B. If E was located over here or A or C, anywhere in these locations, then definitely this guy Dinesh, he would have finished before everyone. Hence this statement as he has finished before Ellen but not behind Banu. But he is behind Banu wouldn't have been true. Hence E is over here, Ellen. So this is Ellen, this is Banu, this is A is for Arun. This is Chetan and this is Dinesh. So what is our way or orientation? What was the finishing order? So first to finish, then followed by who? So first finished, who finished is Chetan. Now we have Chetan in C and D. So A and B are striked out, cannot be the answer. Now in C we are seeing Chetan, then Arun. In B, D we have Chetan, then Banu. So D is the wrong answer. C is the correct answer. Which is the correct one? C. Clear? How we are going to proceed, why we are discussing this question, because the more number of how much ever practice you do in terms of basics, clearing the topics. If we take revision of each class 2 times also, at the end of the day, if we don't practice any question paper, don't do any mock test revision in terms of question wise, nothing will happen. So are these questions and answers getting clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Let's move ahead and see what are the remaining set of questions that we do have. Choose the foremost. So again, now comes over here your visual principles or foremost appropriate principles, how they are asking for the recent years. Okay, number of options also have been reduced. So tell which is the correct answer. What all can you see?
Depth,
Depth. What else?
overlap,
What else?
repetition,
Repetition. And other than that,
asymmetrical balance.
are these the four options which are the most dominating ones? Are these the four principles which are most dominating one in this?
Yes.
Fine. Now let's see the answer. Full marks will be awarded to any four answers. So they are going again with the same format. They have total 6. Okay. Now this year, last year they were having 5. 2021 they used to have 6 itself. Out of which 4 were correct. This year again they have come up with 6, which is a very good opportunity for you. You are having 2 spare options in your hand. So for example, 2 options of yours can differ or can be anything out of these options which you have. So over here they have told balance. See, balance is something very much well maintained over here. Just look at the orientation. Nothing is out of balance. Okay. Now, if there is balance, I missed it. See, there is no balance over here. There is distortion. Balance is not something which is not very much maintained. Over here, you are having a rectangular shape. Over here, a square shape. I just told it the other way around. I'm really sorry for the same. So over here, there is no balance which is being maintained. You just have a look at it. The kind of orientation of this, figures are not in accordance with each other. There is not a particular pattern being followed. Hence, there is a sense of distortion. But we are not very much clarified about distortion. So we will think that, okay, let's see what are the other things. So we go for next thing is overlap. Now, when you are telling overlaps, Neha, you told overlap. What do you mean by overlap? What do you mean by overlapping structures?
It is stacked on one another.
Are these things strapped on one another or they are moving in a particular pattern? They are one after one another. Like one thing is after the other. What do you mean by overlap? Overlap means something like this. For example, this is your one square. If this is another square, if there is another square, there is another square. This is overlap. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Are these things overlapping? Absolutely not. So you made a wrong, decision, and as soon as you make one single wrong decision, which is not out of any one of these 6 options, your whole marks is. Please keep in mind, you never should make any such wrong decisions over here. So overlapping, not there. Now over here we have repetition. Is repetition possible? Definitely, there is a chance of repetition because we see that the lines are following one after another and it is being repeated. It gives you a sense or feel like that these rectangles are giving you a sense of depth placed one after the other. So there are different films or different plates placed one top of each other and moving in from descending order, from larger to smaller. So we get the sense of repetition. As soon as we get the sense of this depth thing, we will talk about depth. So D and E are very much, we are very much clear with. Now, asymmetry, if there is no balance, see, as soon as there is no balance, there is asymmetrical balance. Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir.
So asymmetry is a very clear, repetition is very clear, depth is very clear. Now we need to see contour pattern. Out of these, what? So we see contour pattern, both the things are there. Pattern is the very simple thing that we can go with. Now, what is contour? Contour is actually this is a very important topic that you will mostly learn in your second semester or so, or might be third semester. You will have it in your college. Contouring, how to do and all. Have you seen while traveling? Okay, can just give me a second, have a look at this. Okay, so right now what we have over here is, see, we need to understand that the pattern is definitely over there, and contour I was talking about. So what is contouring? Have you guys okay, I can see over here that we are receiving a few answers from one of our students on live on this live session. It's really good to see that you guys are engaging. Make sure write down the answers, and whatever we are telling over here, just match with it, understand the part of the discussion, or understand the part of the concept that we are talking about, so you can clear out similar questions anywhere. Again, now coming back to you guys, have you seen anywhere that there is some kind of construction work supposed to happen, and there is a camera kind of thing, one person is standing with a tripod, and he is moving towards the lens like this, and there is a other person at a distant place with another tripod, and he is looking towards that. Have you seen this kind of thing? Construction people with this kind of thing, with they are wearing a helmet, and they are looking with in the kind of camera kind of thing with a tripod, and there is another person standing with another one single stick. Seen it somewhere anyhow?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you have seen it, now that is, what is that? So they are doing the labeling of that particular place. What do we mean by labeling? So they are trying to identify if that place is elevated, if it is plain, or if it is going in a, if it is inclined. This is labeling. Now what is contouring? So for example, this is a very simple thing that you will be doing. For example, when you are working on a particular plan of a particular structure, we do have contour lines. Okay, how they pass on. So for example, I will try to draw something over here and show you guys. Okay, so this is your site. Let's assume this is your site, wherein you are supposed, this is the top view of your site, wherein you are supposed to make the structure. Now there are several contour lines passing via this site. Let's assume one is like this. Let's assume this is another one. Let's assume this is another one, and there is another line like this. So, and there will be demarcations written. There will be numbers written over here, which will tell you that, okay, what is the value of that. So what are these contour lines defines? That these are the certain locations where the plane is the location is getting either elevated or it is being inclined. So your site or your location is not plain. So there are several contour lines which are running, and these lines determine a certain zone, whether it's elevated or whether it's going down. So they talk to you about, in a plan you cannot see the height, you cannot see the depth between the place. So they talk about that particular location where you are building. Is it simply plain, or what is the difference between the different levels that are there? What is the depth of that? Accordingly, you are able to build. Okay, so for example, if a site is going inclined like this, so the first floor which you, or the first entrance which you made for let's assume a venue, or it's kind of a marriage hall over here like this, the bottom part you will have to design it accordingly, that okay, a person is entering, he will have a smooth hall over here, that I can have something like this in the bottom space towards the backside where the cooking and all will be done. So these are contour lines, how they run. You might have seen contour lines when you see a map of a hill or hilly zone or something like that. You will see there are different lines circular lines which are running like this. Not circular, like kind of distorted circular lines. Okay. Have you seen anything like that around a kind of hill or something like that? Yes, no?
No.
Fine. So considering these lines are running around this particular zone on spot, we are having a clear demarcation of contour over here. I guess I'm able to convey the idea of contour over here. Now quickly I will show you an example of contours in map. Okay. So let's see. Images also. Okay, fine. We have a very good image over here that we can discuss regarding. Fine. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
See, this is a very good demarcation of how the control line, what the control line means. These are the elevations, how it is going for this particular hill. Now, this is not always elevation for certain zones or certain map or location where you are working on your site where you are making the plan of a building or construction you are doing, it can be inclined as well. And you need to identify how many lines, the lines will be written over there that your site is having these lines. See how it is being shown. This is the map, how you will see it. And this is how these things will be done. Over here, it's a much broader view of that of a certain zone on a map, how the control line runs, which will give you an idea how in normal map you can see it. Clear about contour? So does this contour lines of how this contour line really works and what is the practical view of it? Does it relate with what you have just seen now in your this particular exam paper? Does it relate or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Contour is over there. Now see, we have easily identified. I have told about all the options and this is how you need to go for it. Okay. Now we have here choose the 4 appropriate visual principles also, similarly going for these. And okay, we have a few again these example general questions in terms of architectural structures itself. See over here the given imagery they have asked can be a reference as a vernacular architecture, chaotic architecture, pop art design, or parametric design. Which one do you think is the correct answer? Can vernacular be an option? Yes or no?
No.
Vernacular cannot be an option. We have just seen till today morning what is what kind of structures are related to vernacular structure architecture.
Yes. It's like the architecture in olden days.
It's something like structures which are
Traditional architecture of any place.
traditional architecture. Absolutely. So vernacular, not chaotic, pop art, parametric. Which one it can be? We don't have the answer over here, so we can't cross verify. Now see, there is chaotic design, there is pop art design, there is parametric. There is pop art cannot be. Pop art means in that structure there will be certain elements where it will be emphasized. Parametric design and chaotic design we have. Chaotic design is again also things are quite jumbled up, very complex. Nothing can be nothing is quite consistent or prominent. We over here we can clearly see a particular flow of pattern or design which is being maintained over here. So it will come under parametric design. Clear?
Yes.
Fine. We will have these examples and now see the kind of the paper pattern also what we have is almost kind of similar. What is the missing third pillar of sustainability over here? So social, economic, and what is the other one? Social, economical, government and politics definitely cannot be the third pillar of sustainability. It is definitely supposed to be environment. Okay. Social, economical, and environment. These are the 3 things which are supposed to be there. Culture is a part of social activities. Okay, which country's flag is this? It's very right now, I guess, in many places you have seen this. This is Russia's flag. Okay, so these are simple things that you need to identify and go ahead. Very simple questions, nothing complex. These are the question wise we have tried to go. Now, as mentioned earlier, for each one of you watching this class as a recording, for people live in this session, for people who are over here in this session, you guys are just supposed to do one thing. Go through each of these questions one by one. Okay, I'm really sorry for the interruption in between. There was a network issue. So as I was telling that, what you are supposed to do is that download the app, go for it for anyone. After that, make sure you are solving these papers question by question. If not one time, go for 2 times, because there are certain general knowledge things which will help you out in any exam or in the upcoming days. So make sure you go through them, solve these 2 papers, and we will have around 3 to 4 mock tests. Give those tests, go through those questions as well. And once you do this 5 or 6 papers, it is more than enough to go and sit for the upcoming second attempt. And if you have any doubt now, upcoming classes, definitely do ask, clarify your queries, clarify your doubts, and you will be able to score. Like, see this solving. Now, why I am mentioning again and again, solve these questions, because if you just go through, right now I am discussing this, we are going through is fine. But once if you ask me a doubt, I cannot go through. I will have to discuss that thing in detail, right? Few questions you need to identify it, what can be the answer or so from a certain zone. Okay. Now, while you solve these questions and move forward, make sure you understand the concept or you understand a particular thing. For few things where you need to remember, try to remember it and go ahead. Now, once you solve this set of papers and you are clarifying all the doubts that you have, you are more than well enough to go for the exam, and you are more clarified. You automatically will feel a state of mind where you will feel that, okay, oh no, I am pretty much confident and I am ready for the exam. Okay. So these are the certain things that we were supposed to discuss. This 45 seconds question, as I have mentioned, we will practice it in sets. Make sure students who are watching live on YouTube, you are also available for those sessions with us. Now, for this 45 seconds questions, we will do it in that way. You will have to stay tuned, stay on the particular day when the class is being conducted. We will have, I guess, 3 plus 2 sets, or one day 2 sets of questions, another day 3 sets of questions. After that, we will do another 2 sets of questions, which will be 45 seconds time will be given for the first 5 sets, or at least for the first 3 sets, we will have for 30 seconds timing only to improve your practice. Then for the next 2 sets, we will have a timing of 30 seconds. This is how we are supposed to go. And that's all for today's class. Sneha, you are having any doubt, any queries? Please ask.
Sir, for 45-second questions.
Turn on your camera, Sneha. It's better to have a communication. I hope you don't. Yeah, please tell you.
For the 45-second question, in exam, I when I saw the picture, I memorized what are the dominant things in that picture, and I wrote it down on paper. And then when the questions came, they were same questions which I memorized from the picture, dominant things from the picture. So is it the right way to solve these questions like this only?
I got your query. See, right now we will have to understand one thing. The timing that we are talking about is 45 seconds. Last year it was 30 seconds. It's not 5 minutes. So writing down is the problem which you will face over here.
In short, red color, in small bits.
Yeah. If you write down, see, I will tell you what the problem. See, for example, you are showing me, I can see something on my screen now, and I need to write it down over here. Okay. What problem I will face over here? Many people will suggest that yes, you write it down, better for you. You will get a proper clarification while answering that. Okay, I wrote it down. But we need to practice more so much that we can see something and we can remember. Why I am telling this? Because once you try to write down, if I see and write something, I will need at least 3 to 4 times, sometimes even more, to see that page. Again, look over here and write it down, right? If I see right now you as a figure or my composition as a figure, I can see, okay, I saw that, okay, there is a newspaper, I wrote down. Okay, there is this person is wearing specs. Okay, so you will be in a tense state of mind at that point. 45 seconds, and that is a kind of life and death situation where you know that after 45 seconds I will not be able to see this picture. At the back of your mind, this is what is happening. You are tensed. You have already solved several questions. This is what is happening. So 2 things you should keep in mind, which I am telling to each and every student who is listening to this particular section. I will again repeat it day before exam when I will be conducting a live session for tips and tricks for the last day preparation or something like that. Over here, 2 things. One is that for which you have asked, I will go particularly to that thing first. Don't write. Try to see and remember as much as possible from that. Try to store that. So for example, right now, you can do it and practice this in terms of seeing any. Find out first 100 compositions from Google. Take 100 pictures. Place them one by one. Like, now you take the time of 30 seconds, 45 seconds, give this time to you and you see it carefully. So practice it back at your home. You have, like, any one of you has plenty of time to practice just for 100 compositions as a whole for this whole next set of days which we have left. You see one composition, see it very carefully, very focused. No, your eyes shouldn't go anywhere other than the screen, whatever happens. If you're like, there is some itching you are getting on your hand also, don't go for it. Just focus on screen and just see it carefully. Once that 45 seconds is over, now you take a paper and try to close your eyes and remember what were there. What are the important things that I remember? Okay, that there was a person using his mobile. There was a lady who was helping the child in the swing. Try to note down. Practice this for 100 compositions. There can be no exam which can defeat you in terms of this. This is one thing. Secondly, this is a suggestion. I will tell it from now on itself. I told it last year also. For 30 seconds question, go for the exam in a fresh state of mind. No tension. Nothing will happen to you. You have another 80 years to live of your life. If you fail in this exam also, nothing will happen. So leave that thought out of your mind that, okay, what will happen? I have scored less marks in previous attempt, or I have not given last attempt. I can afford only the fees of this attempt. These are the factors which are the queries which we have got from several students. Hence, I am discussing. There is no discrimination. We are not criticizing anyone. So make sure these things don't go the back of your head. Fresh state of mind. What will happen will happen. Your life is not ending today. So go for that in a fresh state of mind and start solving the 30 seconds, 45 seconds question. What will happen for this is when you solve this, you have 2 questions each, 5, right? So 10 questions. So out of, I guess, total, there will be around 170 questions or so, if I'm not very wrong. How many questions were there? Sorry, I'm telling something wrong. How many questions were there? Let me see. 125, sorry. So 170 marks is for something else and 30 marks is for this. So out of 125 questions, when you have solved 115, there is a great chance there are 15 questions at least which you cannot solve, 15 to 16 questions, or might be even 20 at some point, wherein you are kind of confused, or wherein you are in a certain zone that you are very much tense. Several things have gone through your mind. Really sorry for the same. I'm just need to pick up the cap of the pen. So several things have gone through your mind and you are in a certain zone or state of mind where you have the pressure. You're watching your watch over here. I have this much time left and I have solved not these many questions. I don't know the answer to this. What will be this? All these things are going at the back of your head. Might be you're not thinking at that certain zone for one question, but these things are all going. So your brain is completely tugged up. Might be the time consumed by you is a bit more and you have just 20 minutes left. And these 30 seconds questions are there along with that 5 questions which are left. So there you will face a problem. So my suggestion is, as soon as you go for your exam, start the 30 seconds question first with a fresh state of mind where there is nothing. So what will happen? You don't have to remember anything. This is not an exam where you like engineering or so, or this is not your history exam or school exam where you will have to remember things. Hence, you are in a fresh state of mind and you go and solve this 30 seconds question wherein you are just remembering these things what you watch at first. After that, solve anything else which is there. This is the best way to solve, wherein you can get 100% correct in this under this 30 seconds question. And you will not feel that pressure. You will not feel the zone. You will not be in the zone where after seeing that image for 45 seconds, you will forget what you have seen. Because these all things affects our psychology and it is us who is remembering these images and trying to solve. I hope I am clear. Any more doubts? Any more queries you want? Any more clarifications?
No.
Fine. Okay, then that's all for this session. See you guys in tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's class will be conducted again at the same time, 10:30 in the morning. Make sure everyone who is watching this session live, you join for the live session as well. And students over here, definitely you have a class, so you will join. So that's all, guys, for this session. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Make sure you practice these things back at your home. It is not just the class which you are doing over here or watching this live session over here. For anyone, students over here who are present over here or students over here in the live session, don't watch random YouTube videos right now at this point. I know even from our channel also you get some videos, but what will happen is that at this point, when you start watching about NATA, YouTube will recommend you about NATA. and things will make you more enthusiastic, or you will get more interest in watching these videos one after one. You will forget where time is gone, and suddenly you will realize I have lost a huge amount of time, and your brain is getting fully tugged up with all this nonsense. So don't go for that, and just completely focus on your exam, at least for these last few days. After that, you can watch anything for the next 5 days, again fully focus on exam. So that's all, guys. Thanks a lot. See you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys have enjoyed. So make sure you stay tuned with us and prepare for your exam. That's all, guys. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, Sneha. I will end the session over here. See you guys.